Welcome to the Tuesday, April 14th, 2026 meeting of the Ayer Planning Board. This meeting hearing of the Ayer Planning Board will be held in person at the location provided on this notice. Members of the public are welcome to attend this in-person meeting. Please note that while an option for remote attendance and/or participation via Zoom is being provided as a courtesy to the public, the meeting hearing will not be suspended or terminated if technological problems interrupt the virtual broadcast unless otherwise required by law. Members of the public with a particular interest in a specific item on this agenda should make plans for in-person versus virtual attendance accordingly. This meeting will be live on Zoom. The public may access the proceedings by joining Zoom meeting ID 978-772-8220 or by calling 929-205-6099. For additional information about remote participation, please contact Danny Ruiz, Town Planner at druiz@ayer.ma.us or 978-772-8220 extension 144 prior to this meeting. First item of business is to approve the agenda. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion, we approve the agenda as presented.
Seconded.
Any discussion on the agenda? Hearing none. Kathleen, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ken?
Aye.
Nathan?
Aye.
Julie?
Yes.
Chair votes aye. Agenda's approved. Our first item of business is a public meeting for 3038 Main Street. Do we have a representative of the applicant here? Come on up, sir. Danny, if you would lead us through this. So first, Danny will just give us a little background, then I'll turn it to you to tell the story, whatever story there is to be told, and we'll take it from there.
Yes, so this is an A&R application for the creation of 3 lots.
Parcels.
Parcels, correct. Parcels, there is a note on here that these are considered not building lots and intended to be conveyed and combined with adjacent lots. So I will turn this.
They're parcels now, but once they're conveyed, they become part of the underlying lots.
They're to be combined with
I will turn it
the
over
abutting, 3 individual abutting lots.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so this is on Main Street 30 to 38 Main Street are the addresses here, and these all conform to zoning. These are not buildable lots because they don't have legal frontage, but they're going to be conveyed to these parcels, to the lots.
They do not conform to zoning. They're parcels. They have no frontage. They do not have adequate area. They're parcels.
Can you put up the GIS?
Yes.
So it's behind the florist, the cottage, and the other little
Yeah, I
building.
know where it is. Yeah.
Okay, just that.
So for clarification, they're part of another existing lot right now.
They are all part of the backland lot.
Right.
Yes. Worthingdale owns.
Right.
There's a registration line and a recorded line that cut right through it.
So it's that strip.
That blue parcel
Goes
that
to
he
the
just had
point.
highlighted. Correct.
Nathan, you had a question?
Did we get your name, sir?
David, last name is Browchuk, Browchuk. I'm the manager of the survey department at GPR.
Thank you. That was my question.
Okay. Good question to ask, Nathan.
So we don't have that plan, do we?
Oh, yeah, we do.
I forgot to give it to you guys.
Thank you. I was gonna say, see the plan yet.
You're right. I forgot to give the paper copy up to you.
Nope, that's the wrong one. That's the next one.
Oh, sorry. That is the next one.
Are you here for the next one?
I'm keeping my seat warm, so sure.
All right.
It says it goes.
You can just put that right in the bottom.
Just the one.
All right, here you go, Ken.
Okay. So it's carving the parcels out of the other lot that's got a point on it.
Yep. Yes.
And 3 parcels, A, B, and C.
This may help you a little
1,
bit
2,
more.
3.
It's colorized.
Yep, right, see.
So the red, the blue, and the
And the
green.
intent is to tie them into these
We're
guys.
going to add A to B
Yeah.
to there, and then also creating an easement at the same time for access.
Can you point to the easement,
Yes.
Danny?
The hatching in there.
So the access easement
Okay.
brings you from the other lots to the back here.
Correct.
So there's a deeded right to the back of lot parcel C.
So there's an existing way further to the left of building number 40. And now we're formalizing an easement so that those three units can get access to the rear of their building over the remaining land of Worthingdale.
So we don't have to see the language of the easement, that's beyond us.
No.
Yep.
A legal deal.
And the intent, through the chair, is to be able to sell these parcels.
Some of them are sold already.
They're going to be, yeah, some of them are already sold. It's to
Okay.
make it more conveyable.
Yeah. Right. So, for example, so the parcel C has independent access.
Parcel C has access over easement X, A, and B.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. But now this will formalize.
Yes.
Seems to make perfect sense.
Yes. Any further? Kathleen, do you have any questions?
I do not.
Julie, Nathan, Ken? No, I don't. Go ahead.
Mhm.
I'll open up for public input, starting with the room. Anyone here have any input regarding this particular A&R?
Yeah.
I will
They
open.
don't.
What's that?
Public's-
I know,
public's
but
You know,
it's
it's not
what
part
we
of
do.
it.
It's a public meeting.
It is a public meeting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can I just ask about public input? We voted the last meeting to time people at 3 minutes.
Yes.
So I'm just gonna check, is that still how you want me to proceed?
Yes, please.
Because I said I'd be the timer.
Yes.
Okay.
I will accept public input on 3038 from anyone on Zoom. Okay. Anyone raise their hand?
No.
Nothing? I could use a motion.
Make a motion. Let's see, is it accept or approve? It's accept.
Endorse.
Endorse. Oh, endorse.
Endorsement.
Make a motion that we endorse the A&R for 3038 Main Street, map 26, parcel 329, as presented at planning board meeting.
Thank you, Nathan. Do I have a second?
Seconded.
Thank you, Julie. Any further discussion? Derek? No, public input's closed. We move to the vote now. Kathleen, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Nathan?
Aye.
Julie?
Yes.
Chair votes aye. It is endorsed.
Thank you.
Congratulations and good luck.
Do we sign it later or?
We'll do
When would
it
you like it
at the end of the meeting, just because we've got a lot going on.
You want me to pick them up in the morning or
Yeah,
something like
yeah.
that? All right, I'll stay here for the next one.
Okay.
Next public meeting is 64 Littleton Road. I just want to point out that you'll see this on the agenda twice. This is the public meeting just to discuss the A&R portion of this project, and then we're going to open a public hearing for 64 Littleton Road for the site plan review and minor stormwater. So 64 Littleton Road, do we have a representative? It's still you.
I'm still
Same
here.
gentleman.
Same guy.
Still from GPR.
All right, my head is spinning. My head is spinning. All right, if you can set this up for us. Danny will first, and then we'll turn to you.
Sure.
I'll turn it over to him on this one.
Okay.
It's pretty short. Yeah, it's just a simple.
Existing parcel, cutting it into 3 separate parcels, has adequate frontage, has adequate area, and it has adequate access as it is on a county layout, and there is no restriction.
I'll correct you. 3 different lots, not parcels.
We're creating 3 separate lots.
Right, but you said 3 parcels.
Oh, sorry, one single parcel into 3 lots.
So what was a parcel would be 3
Correct.
lots. And
It's
each
an
one of them,
existing house.
each one of them has the appropriate dimensional requirements for the underlining zoning as buildable lots. Okay, Danny's nodding his head. So yes. Colleagues, comments, questions?
This one, what we're seeing is there's a town easement that runs through.
There's an existing easement off to the left side, the 20-foot wide sewer easement, and we're going to be extending it across the other lot so it can serve Lot C.
So that's new with this
Correct.
plan. Okay.
But the easement that's there now is designed to serve the existing 64, the house on 64
Correct.
currently,
Correct.
through the abutting lot.
I see.
Any questions?
No.
Kathleen, do you have any questions?
I do not.
I'll take it. We'll combine public input when we get to the hearing. No, can't do that?
No.
So I'll take public input right now from the room regarding the A&R for this.
Talk about that.
Anyone on Zoom have any comments? Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Try this again. I make a motion that we endorse the A&R for 64 Littleton Road, map 36, parcel 257, is presented at planning board meeting.
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Kathleen, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ken?
Aye.
Nathan?
Aye.
Julie?
Yes.
Chair votes aye. The A&R is approved.
Thank you.
All right, we'll see you in a little bit, I guess.
Contact either Hut or myself in the
Oh, I
morning.
see. Okay, great.
And we'll be over in the morning.
All right, take care.
Thank you.
Okay, next item for public meetings, Lincoln Hill.
Rub it in.
Yep.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Alrighty. So to set the stage on this one, this is the formalizing the agreement, the tripartite agreement between the town, the bank, and the developer. In December, when the project commenced, there was $250,000 that was set aside with the bank initially. We've been kind of going back and forth on the formal agreement and the amount. We did finalize the recommended bond amount, which was $300,000. So the developers put in an additional $50,000 into the bank with the bank, and so there's a total of. Let me just get the exact amount. $300,823.45. So that has been put aside as a credit line within the bank, and so the tripartite agreement that's before you is to formalize the actual agreement between all three parties.
Okay.
I sent this over to the board for you guys to review. There was also a memo that went along with this from the director of the DPW, Dan, and Matt. Also, they put together kind of a quick letter breakdown as to the recommendation. I don't know if you want to read this.
Well, I at least want to read a part of it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I think that a question may be, well, how do we arrive at 300,000? And I think the Director of Public Works put it very succinctly. In his middle paragraph, he says, "It's my understanding that the intent of the tripartite agreement, as was discussed between the applicant and planning board, and this is the important part, was to provide surety to stabilize the site as opposed to value the remaining construction development of the development because this is a private development." So that's how we get to 300,000.
Yeah.
I believe there's a remaining issue regarding the timeline.
Yes. So, and just quickly on the reasoning why he's saying that. So, typically under a subdivision, the town would eventually take over utilities and the roadway. So what we typically do is we do some sort of a covenant, a surety bond, something to protect the town for when it would eventually take over the road. In this situation, the town would never take over the road or utilities. It would always remain private. So if anything were to happen, the bank would be the one who would end up taking that. And so what this does is basically sets an agreement that the 300,000 that's set in the bank, the applicant would use to restore the site if something were to happen and the project were to go under or something. They would use that 300,000 to stabilize the site and to close up everything that's necessary.
Stabilize for safety, but of course it wouldn't complete the building.
No.
Did you say the applicant would use the money? Or the
Yeah,
town
yeah,
could
yeah.
use it?
So the way I'll explain that right now. So the way the agreement is written is the developers would be the first ones to do it. And in clause number 5, it says if the developers do not restore the time within, and we put in here 60 days,
That's it.
then at that point the agreement would allow the town to draw down that money and do it.
Right.
Yeah.
In fact, the town could do so directly to the bank.
Yes.
Right.
And so it's just the formalization of all three
Right.
parties into this.
And to be clear, the three parties are
The three parties are linking developers, Lowell,
Five
Lowell
cents.
Bank, yeah, and the town of Ayer. And that is all spelled out in here. Town council has reviewed this and has addressed and felt fine with it. There was just a couple of comments that they had. We did clarify those, which was the time required for them to have this done. We said Dan had suggested 60 days to
Okay.
get them to close it all up, and within if after 60 days they didn't finish it, then the town would do that.
It is 60 days industry standard or typical?
I think 60 days is enough time
Okay.
for
Okay,
us.
good. So that issue is resolved then, with the 60 is the recommended from
Yeah,
from
from DPW.
DPW. Great.
Correct.
Okay. So it just remains for us to approve.
Yes.
Yes, Nathan.
And then just to be clear, also for clarity, this is a this is like a full alarm in case of fire document.
Correct.
If everything goes to swimmingly to plan, this never gets exercised, and then the developer, after the project is complete, they can withdraw that money.
So the way it would work is like we typically do with any other bond. The applicant would come at certain stages of the project to ask for a release, a partial release of the bond,
Yep.
At certain intervals of the project. And I'm going to let Janet kind of give you guys a kind of a status update on the project, because the project is moving very fast right now. And so even from when this document was written, a lot has been done. So it's a fast moving target here.
Doesn't really spell out that they can take the bond down in this document though, does it?
No, but that's a typical.
I understand that it's typically do that with a covenant, but
No, with any kind of bond. It doesn't say that in here because this is just formally for the. This is just the agreement on the amount and how the bond is going to be drawn down and all that. So the way it would work is once the applicant, once this is formalized and say the applicant's done with all the utilities and they put down binder, they could come back,
I understand.
ask for the bond, for a bond reduction.
Mr. Chair, and then
Yes.
also just underscore what's going to happen, can happen, is we still have three parties going on. When the applicant developer comes to request a drawdown, the bank follows suit, but the planning board represents the town
Correct.
in that third party.
Yes. The planning board and with the assistance of the DPW, so that they would make sure that everything that they have stated has been completed.
very good. So, Dan, was there a schedule of values related to this? That's what I thought we were going to see.
Yes, it.
I don't see it here.
So Dan put it together. That's where he got the number.
So is it listed as like an addendum or an attachment? Or how does it go?
Let me see.
But you must have worked with Dan on the
Yep.
Yeah.
schedule of values.
He did it. He ended up pulling it together. So he tied it in a bow.
So
Yeah.
it'd be so much for water, so much for sewer, so whatever it is.
It's more so
More to the land, the grading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
because, can I just say?
Yeah.
When we were going through the permitting process, a couple of the complaints that I heard or concerns that I heard from the abutters was like, if they were to fail, we're going to be left with this barren wasteland. What would happen to us? So I suggested to the board and to Danny that maybe we put aside some money for a level of comfort that the abutters would have, that if Michael and I died in a fiery plane crash tomorrow, there would be money set aside so that they could make sure the stormwater system was complete and installed, and restore the site with grass and trees and whatever needed to be done. So that's where we're at. I think the only things that we would ask for a release for is starting next week, they're going to be building out the Cultec system at the bottom of the hill. So once that's complete, maybe we could release those funds, and those are all scheduled to be third-party inspected by Green International. So that'll be very cut and dried. It's installed, it's inspected, it's,
Okay.
So this is what Dan put together.
All right, so that gets attached to this, obviously.
Yes. And then this will get all recorded.
I wish I had you doing the work at the senior center for that price.
the streetlight price, is that what you mean?
Anything.
Well, town project, private development.
Okay. I'm good if Dan approves the amount, I'm fine with it.
Would it be appropriate for Janet to give us an update?
Yeah. So I think give an update, and then the board can make their
Yep.
votes and open up to the public.
Janet, did you say your name and everything when you got up
I'm
here?
not sure if I did. My name is Janet Field. I'm a representative for Lincoln Developers. I actually sent Danny a couple photos.
Yep. I'm gonna open this up.
Oh,
You could
okay.
share perhaps as a update on the project. Just some, that is just, took the photo today as they were beginning the utilities on the last stretch of roadway. So that's heading up around the corner. Right behind that pile is Neshoba Park.
Mhm.
So that's just an example of them working there. Is that?
I think that's.
Oh, that's Matthew Lane.
Matthew Lane.
So that shows kind of like the little bit of a circle that goes back. Matthew Lane is, all the utilities are in, it's graded.
That's cool.
That is Nicholas Lane. So that's the lane that's the longest
one.
street down to,
That's up
the
there
hill.
is that kind of the rock wall.
Yep.
That rock face.
Okay.
and that's the map that comes from, that's on the job site trailer. And I went over it at the end of the day today with the site foreman, and they go in and highlight what they've finished in terms of utilities, so that you can see water, sewer, drainage are all highlighted. And I thought this was kind of interesting to share with you because you can see where they've come all the way up to the top of the easement, and so now they're just about to connect. They have two structures of drainage.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, one structure of drainage and then the outfall,
Mm-hmm.
and then two more sewer drainage structures to install. So they're close. They're getting really close to tying that part in. And then, like I said, the Cultec at the bottom is going to start next week.
Wow.
And
And then
they
the
just-
last
yeah.
is, this is also needs to be done as well.
so I, despite all, despite some of the scuttlebutt, I am pretty proud of their progress and the job that they're doing on site.
Do you also want to give them a quick update up here?
The parking lot?
Oh, the parking lot, guys, I put a picture in of
The
that too.
retaining wall, when's the retaining wall scheduled?
The retaining wall, they're actually working on that. So there are some topographical differences. So there is it may be shorter and on the ends where it tapers. So they're actually working on. There's a wall engineer expert who,
Yeah.
so
Structural
they're working on it.
Because
They're
they still
currently
need to
working on
go for
Gotta
building
submit that.
permits. Yeah, they need a building permit for that.
it. Yeah, that's in process. They had to do boring samples, and they're
Okay.
actively working on it.
That's good.
This is the stormwater basin.
Yep. They've been taking water out. That's the water truck getting filled up because they've been wetting down the site while they're, reusing the water right on site to keep
So
everything
that's wet.
wet. And I put in a picture of the
Control dust.
Yeah, it's controlled
control the
dust.
dust. That's the parking lot. So that's
Oh, okay.
It's almost ready for pavement.
That's unbelievable.
So they're busy working on that. A couple more loads of graded base are coming in tomorrow, and
Structure right there.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So there's that, and then I think I so they got a new crusher on site today. That was the piece of equipment that got delivered. It's a super large piece of equipment. and-
Maybe I didn't. It didn't.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I didn't transfer it when I
Oh,
grabbed.
that's fine. But it's really neat. So we've had a crusher on site for months that takes, some like really oversized piece of rock and brings it down to 6-inch minus, they call it. And now today, a secondary crusher, so it goes through that first one and then it comes out and it's like small rock for grading the roads.
Water.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So it's, yeah, it's very impressive. I was really impressed watching it today.
So you guys will be balanced, it sounds.
Yeah, it's going to be very close. There's
Very close?
There's additional rock, but they're trying to find ways to use it on site.
Oh, so the excess would be what's available, you don't have to bring anything in?
No, the only thing we bring in is there are very small rock for around structures, sand to line pipes in, just highly specialized materials that can't be manufactured on site. But as far as generalized fill, it's all there.
Yeah.
Yeah, pipes have to be embedded in sand, and
Yes.
those structures, those giant structures get pea stone, I believe, around them.
Yep. So I would probably, if the next thing for public comment, I would suggest open that for the tripartite agreement.
Okay.
Unless the board has
Yeah,
questions,
so
obviously.
yeah, I want to, Ken, you have any more?
My only question was the schedule, because I didn't see it here.
And you-
Yeah, I forgot to attach it for you guys.
Nathan, Julie, Kathleen, do you have any questions? There she is.
I do not.
Okay, great. I will open up the floor to public comment exclusively on the tripartite agreement. Am I pronouncing it right?
Tripartite agreement.
Tripartite, it sounds not
Yeah,
right, but
it's
it's right.
not an easy.
Tripartite agreement. Hearing nothing? Zoom, I'm open. What? Oh, do we have somebody? Come on, yep. Is this regarding the agreement?
Not the agreement, it was
Forget it.
something that was mentioned in this.
Go, what's it? Yeah.
Yeah, it was the big, the big vehicle that was going, because unfortunately it was going when my wife needed to go to, because we're at 35 Groton Harvard Road. I'm Anthony Flynn.
Yeah.
So yeah, today, is there a way that we could get like know when the deliveries were coming? Because unfortunately, there was a cop and everything, but we were trying to get out the driveway when that big monster came. So unfortunately, we were held up.
Blocked you?
Yes. Well, it was on the other side, but still, when it was going, my wife couldn't take the left to get to where she needed to go. It was only a few minutes, but still, it's just something that if we knew that, it was going to be there, we would at least be able to leave 15 minutes prior or whatever, because they get in the car and then all of a sudden they're waiting for that vehicle to go. So that's the only
Maybe-
Would have
thing.
been the traffic question.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, maybe you could could you share my phone number?
Yeah, I can put you.
Share my phone number.
Yeah,
That way
just,
I can send you a text maybe. You just say tomorrow morning.
I know
it's
it's
wrapping up.
I know it's it's only a few and far between and all that stuff, but unfortunately it's always in the morning when everybody is trying to get to where they need to go, and that's my only concern.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
Hmm. Thank you.
So yeah, you can.
Yeah, I can put you in contact.
Yes, Pauline? And this is this about the tripartite agreement?
I
It
think-
is, yes, it is, Mr. Chair. Specifically, I want to be sure I heard the member correctly. I don't know if it was Nathan or Danny or Ken, but it was definitely male, so those are the only three. That the $300,000 set aside is a word I'm paraphrasing in the three-party agreement is to correct, pay for, fix any elements of the project that were not completed by the developer in the event the project is abandoned. And I'm using that again as a paraphrase. Am I understanding that correctly?
So the 300,000 is to be used to restore the site if the project were to go under, as we would say, not abandoned, but yes, it would be used to restore the site to natural, and so that it would be safe.
So I oversimplified the explanation, but I did that for a reason.
Yep.
That $300,000 is expected to cover the cost to restore a now destroyed hill, and I use that with all due respect. It's destroyed. It cannot be rebuilt. And I only say this to you having been involved in the Willows Comprehensive Permit Project. I would suggest to the planning board that you reconvene with the DPW. In today's economy, $300,000 is not gonna fix what has happened up there. And the developer will get whatever is not used to repair and refix and replace. Why not just put it $500,000, $750,000? It's nothing off of them, it's only to the bank. And if the developer or let me say it simply, the townspeople should not pay a single penny to restore this property to its so-called natural condition if the developer fails. I'm not asking the developer to fail. I hope they don't after all this
Is there a question here?
agony. Yeah, no, it's a suggestion, Mr. Chair, that the planning board not just accept the $300,000 number. You all should do what is best for the town. I believe that's what Nathan said. You need to add money to this three-party agreement to make it more palatable to the town. Otherwise, I hope we don't.
Okay, that's it. That's your 3 minutes, Pauline. Thank you.
Pauline, just to clarify, this number was given to us by the DPW director. He's the one.
I understand that.
So
Yes.
he personally did the numbers, looked through the schedule of values, and put this together.
I understand that, Danny. Thank you for that explanation. I heard that, which is why I'm saying maybe you, as the elected planning board, not you, Nanny, but the members, should consider just adding a little bit more. Why not protect your residents better than you have? That's the point.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't,
Do we have any other comment? Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you.
I move that we
Execute.
execute. Well, the tripartite, yeah, because there's a signature page on the back.
Yes.
We execute the tripartite agreement as dated April 10th, 2026 for Lincoln Hill project. That's it. That's all I got.
second. Any comment?
Any further comment?
Yes.
Yes, go ahead.
So, in response to what was said, I don't think that I would feel anywhere comfortable going back to the DPW director after this has been worked on for months by the town council, by the town planner, by the director of the DPW. I would feel very uncomfortable trying to second guess that process unless I was with the process right from the get-go. So I feel confident the process is working, and that's the reason I'm going to sign it.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Hearing none. Kathleen, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ken?
Aye.
Nathan?
Aye.
Julie?
Yes.
Chair votes aye. Thank you, Ken.
Terrific, thank you for your time.
I'll have them sign it, and then I'll call you tomorrow about when to pick up.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
We need a motion to open the public hearing for, or is that 50 Jackson Street, right?
Yes. Yep.
So I'll do that. I make a motion to open up the public hearing for 50 Jackson Street, map 19, parcel 57. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing?
Could you please read what the public hearing is?
So the public hearing is the application for site plan review from Seal Harbor Companies for a proposal of construction of a single-family house including an ADU on a vacant lot containing 15,360 square feet. Kathleen, how do you vote? Did we vote yet? No.
No.
Kathleen, how do you vote?
Who seconded it?
I did.
I'm voting on opening the public hearing, is that
Yes,
correct?
just the public hearing, yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Ken?
Aye.
Nathan?
Aye.
Julie?
Yes.
Chair votes aye, the public hearing is open. So I'm going to turn this to Danny to kind of set us up, and he'll direct it to the applicant for further information.
So let me just pull up my staff report. All right, so this project came, let me see when this started. I believe it was either March or February of 2024. So the meeting was on April 16th, 2025. Sorry. So what happened was the site was clear cut. The applicant did not know that there was that they needed to come in for site plan review under section 9.6 if they triggered over 10,000 square feet of clearing.
This applicant has never worked in air before?
No, he's working here before.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. All we know is that it was clear cut. The Mike made an enforcement on the applicant where he told them that they had to come to the planning board for site plan review under section 9.6 land clearing. The applicant then appealed that to the zoning board of appeals. That was then upheld by the building commissioner's determination was upheld by the zoning board of appeals, and then that was also appealed. Then there was over the last year there was back and forth with our council and their council and the court, and I believe a stay was put on, and the applicant was going to come back to the planning board for site plan review. The application includes it's under section 9.6. So technically under this one, since it's not over 20,000 square feet, there is no stormwater permit. There is still a component that needs to be addressed as part of this. So the applicant came forth and submitted a site plan review application for a single family house with an attached ADU. And as part of that application, there was also, let me just get the actual plan. There was also a landscape plan that was associated with the project to make up for the trees that were cut down right there. So the applicant provided us with a revised set of plans after we had a pre-application meeting with a landscape plan showing right up along Pearl Street a pretty robust landscape plan. But to give the board history, this is what the site actually looked like before it was cleared. And as you can see right here, that is currently what it looks like. So a lot of trees were cut as part of this process. So now the board's job would be to, after the fact, review the project under our section 9.6 regulations, which is the whole point behind that bylaw is to protect as much existing tree cover as possible. Since the site was completely clear cut, now it's where the board will have to take their your ability to look at the landscape plan, make judgment call on whether or not the landscape plan is sufficient to provide to make up for the trees that were cut. Obviously, there's no way to make a one-to-one replacement on this one, but it's the board's gonna have to do some discussions on whether or not the landscape plan as proposed is sufficient to address what has occurred here. I think I'll turn it over to Mark for him to make any comments and if he wants to go through his plans.
Evening.
Hi.
To answer your question, 35 houses in this town.
What's that?
To answer your question, 35 houses in this town before this.
I know, that's why I'm surprised that you clear cut.
Yeah. So,
I'm sorry, Mark, but you have to introduce yourself.
I'm
to the
sorry.
board.
I'm Mark Gallagher from Seal Harbor Development. I apologize. Essentially, what Danny has expressed to the board is accurate. We purchased this lot to develop it as a single-family home. We do not agree with the interpretation of 9.6. Having said that, we got opinions before we even began to cut the lot, and the opinions that were received was that 9.6 did not apply, pre-existing conforming lot of record. So that's the reason that we were surprised to get the stop work order from Charlie, actually not Mike. And, you know, we had a history with Charlie with the fire station where he was an impediment to our ability to move the project
We're
forward.
not gonna.
Just telling you the truth. Doesn't matter.
That works.
You asked me to give them the background. I'm giving them the background. I don't believe that Charlie was correct in putting a stop work order on it. I don't believe it was incorrect in the interpretation. When Danny became involved, we decided to mitigate this instead of taking the long course to court. The trees were already cut. The house was already planned. And we met with Danny and decided that his approach would be the most logical approach. We did have a pre-application meeting. The house is essentially the same house that we originally were going to put there. The lot is extremely narrow. It would have been virtually impossible to put the house on the lot and maintain any of the trees. Either if we had gone through 9.6 originally and been in front of you to today. So there was a suggestion that we did a rather robust planting plan, which we did. We met with Danny and his staff to go over it. Our engineer made some adjustments based upon the input that Danny and his team told us, and we agreed to come in front of you this evening. So just to be very clear, we didn't intentionally violate the zoning bylaw. I'm very familiar with the zoning bylaws. We got professional engineering and legal assistance prior to making the determination to move forward. And that's what we did. So I would love to entertain any questions this evening on the plan. I think we've done just about everything that we would have normally had done should we have gone through site plan approval on this. Again, I've never heard of site plan approval for a pre-existing single-family lot, but apparently that's the way that it's now being managed, and we should have been a little brighter about it at the time. So we believe that this is a great addition to the neighborhood. The house fits the neighborhood. The ADU is something new that we believe will be very helpful to the housing market. And we're doing our very best to recuperate as much with the plantings that we possibly could. We have subjected ourselves to stormwater, although a stormwater permit isn't necessary. We have a stormwater plan that's encapsulated within this that we reviewed with Danny and his team when we were in front of them. There have been some recent comments both from the staff, which are minor in nature, that we'll address over the the next.
Hold on.
I'm
Sorry.
Apologize.
No, not. I don't know what just happened.
It said the internet was unstable.
Oh, I must have bumped it. Did I bump it?
No, you did not. I don't know what's going on.
I'm still on.
Let me just.
Technology
Yeah.
Oh, it's.
I thought I saw it.
works when you.
Obviously, we did the preamble to the meeting.
Yep.
But I just want to see if I can. It looks like the system isn't frozen. Can we
You
just
want to recess for 5 minutes?
Can we just take a 5-minute recess
Let's do
for
a
now?
5-minute, let's be back at 5 after the hour. Yeah, we're gonna, I'm resuming the April 14th Air Planning Board meeting. Welcome back, everybody. Okay, so where did we leave off? I'm sorry.
I think I was done.
Mark was talking. I'm sorry, I
I
interrupted.
think I've given enough information for tonight.
yeah.
If you have questions.
So the department head comments were sent out to the applicant.
Yes.
The applicant did submit revised plans, but I didn't get a
5-day.
an actual like a letter saying response to the comments.
I think she sent it today.
I got the cover letter, but it didn't have like responses to the actual comments. Now whether
I think she incorporated everything they asked for in the new plan.
and that's what I wasn't sure
Yeah.
of if that's
Everything that was requested was back.
was into that. Okay, so then we'll just have to review the plans and for the next meeting.
Okay.
Let me just share content at
fair.
this point because
Correct.
And by the next meeting, you'll have any comments back to the.
We've answered all the
You
comments.
already
We've
have.
incorporated them all.
Oh,
in
okay.
just during
there
your
weren't very
5-day
many.
deadline.
Yeah, they weren't.
There weren't
They're
very many.
minor.
In fact, the only one I highlighted was.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, just so that everyone knows, the I cannot share on the screen for some reason because the system is down. So I won't be able to show the actual plan on the screen. Yes, so we will have to review the plans just to make sure all the comments were addressed, but they were very minor.
In fact,
These were comments you just got back today, is that it? I didn't have it in my package.
The department had comments?
I had to go online.
I don't have.
Oh, maybe I forgot to print those out for you.
Yeah, probably 3 or 4 days ago.
They're on the
Okay.
website.
Fine.
They were very minor.
Yeah, look, can I?
Yeah.
So like just a couple of requests from DPW. One is DPW requests the applicant provide stormwater controls, parentheses, dry well, subsurface leaching chamber, etc., end parentheses, to infiltrate the first inch of stormwater runoff resulting from the new impervious surfaces.
We already did it.
You're all happy
Yeah.
with that?
Yeah.
And then I have no idea what the difference between an Erie and a Buffalo-style curb box.
It's just it's a type of box they use for the water, curb cock.
And
Turn it
that's-
on and off.
And that's it.
Manufacturer.
Different towns use different ones.
Yeah. So, okay, great.
So what about,
Oh.
Go ahead. Who's first? Ken, then Nathan, Ken. Nathan, do you want to go first? What's up?
2 questions. Just mentioned that's, can I just get a little more background on stormwater? We just,
So this project doesn't trigger stormwater,
Okay.
but
But,
but the DPW.
under this, any project that goes to site plan review has to do stormwater component under our MS4 permit through the state. We are in the process of internally discussing, how we address that because, Mark is correct on this, that it doesn't trigger stormwater, but the comment was that he has to address the 1 inch storm, 1 inch of rain over for the impervious, which based on what we see, they have.
We have a solution for that.
We have a solution, but going forward, it's an issue that we're going to address by adding language into our regulations that specifically talks about this scenario because it's not the first time we're running into this scenario.
Okay. For site plan review, I assume there's a lot that's left to the building commissioner here, like normally we have a table of setbacks and all that. Is that out of our purview for
zoning
No,
table?
they're zoning table. So all the information, the setbacks are shown. It might not be on this page. It might be on the next one. Yeah, right.
Okay.
And the setbacks are shown.
I see.
Great.
Okay. And last is just a question about the building. Through the chair, Mark,
Yes.
can you give us the square footage of each of the approximate? Do you know what they're going to be for the
I think the main house is about 2,300 square feet. And I believe the ADU meets your zoning requirement 900 and change.
So 2,900.
Yeah.
I believe. Well, the state law is, I believe, 900 is the maximum.
right.
Because
990. I think it's 990.
900. Yeah, it's 900.
Or a percentage of the
Or
main house.
50% of the main
Yeah.
house, whichever's. It's
smaller?
We just abide by the state law that was put in that made ADUs by right, so that's what we follow.
Okay.
And then last is, and then how many stories?
The main house is 1.5 stories, and the ADU is the same.
1.5.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What's the half story? Is the walkout?
Cape. It's more like a cape.
Okay. So the half is what, the attic? I'm
Yeah.
confused. Oh, okay,
Exactly.
got it.
The bedrooms on the first floor and a couple bedrooms on the second floor. I think it's 2 bedrooms in the ADU.
Ken, you had some questions or?
So, but Nathan and I had the same issue. It turns out the site plan was on the bottom of the table, so
Oh,
the site plan was on the top, the site
Yeah.
plan was on the bottom, the
Yeah.
table's on the front of the site plan. So we did get a request for more planting on the west side of the lot.
So No,
This
that
is
was
also-
that was a comment from one of the neighbors. So
Correct.
that it was sent over. She's actually in the
Right.
she wants to ask for that.
But the long and the short of it is that the majority of what you're showing here for landscaping is really the planting in the back and a couple of trees in the front. And the typical stuff you do around the foundation, the rest is lawn, pretty much all lawn, right?
Correct.
So if our obligation is to look to help get more trees in the lot, because we would ask, can we put more trees in the lot, especially on the west side?
Do you want me to take trees from the bottom? Because we really
This is-
punish the bottom of the slope in order to, after we had our pre-construction meeting, that was the recommendation.
That was what you guys wanted? The Pearl Street side?
No, so we asked for a landscape plan. They had given us a suggestion of what they would do. They've done on a previous house. We hadn't seen it yet. One of the comments that one of the neighbors gave was that she lives at the adjacent lot, and because that whole area was wooded, she would like to have a visual buffer along that side.
Left or right? When
If
look-
you're
oh,
looking
right.
at the house
Two different-
on Jackson Street to the right.
The one with the pine tree.
Yes, yes. And I believe she wants to come up and talk at when public comment's ready.
So we've got, most of the plantings on a landscape plan tend to be more like shrubs than trees, right?
I believe there's
the
there's
back?
5 trees.
I believe what they tried to do is use all native and tried to make it, we did a house in Littleton and they used a similar mixture of native species, which includes
I
pollinators
see one there that's.
and some other species that are for the local wildlife.
They're like. What'd you say, before you? Okay, I see 2 being in the back and 2 from the front. You said 5? There's 5 over here, okay. Good.
Yeah.
There's 3 in the back.
3 in the back.
Yeah, there's 3 in the
2
back and
front.
2 in the front.
Right, I got it now. 8-foot height, 1-inch caliber. And they're not very big trees to start with.
I think the conversation at the pre-construction meeting was if we use larger trees, they would shock and die.
Yeah, that's possible.
And that they were trying to get native trees that would be able to quickly grow during this season and be able to last through next winter season and into the spring and grow again.
Does it be watered?
So I think they were rather judicial in what they chose based upon their prior experience.
Okay. I mean, my request would be that we add some trees along the, if you look at the drawing, I think it's the west side of the house. Maybe 2 or 3 more trees along. It's a long, long area that could easily be filled in with some of the landscaping to make a better improvement for the neighborhood. The ADU in the back is behind the garage, I take it the way it's shown here. Basically, with a walk to that, is that the way you think, that's the way it works? It's just.
The ADU is the front of the house. The ADU is actually facing Jackson Street.
Oh.
The main house is actually behind the ADU.
Wow, okay, cool.
So the ADU gives its best impression in the front.
So what the language here says proposed dwelling, that's the section of the house the ADU is at, pretty much.
The front portion of the square that you see there, the
Yeah,
rectangle,
I got it.
that's the ADU.
I see it now.
The rest of the building is the primary residence with a garage.
Cool.
The plan actually had a 2-car garage, but this is such a narrow lot, it would make it extremely difficult to try to fit. That's, to meet the setbacks, the shortfall of this lot is it's extremely narrow.
There's a requirement for the ADU that it has like 1 parking space, right? So we have to figure there's 3 parking spaces here.
Yeah, there's at a minimum 3 here.
That's the way it works, basically. The 2-car garage and 1 outside or something like that.
Yeah, there's the proposed driveway and the garage. So there's parking.
Yeah, okay, cool. That's all I have. I'd like to see more trees if possible.
Nathan, Julie?
I'm good.
I'm going to open up for public comment. Any questions or concerns related to 50 Jackson Street? Is that right? Yes. Yes, come on up. Hi, welcome. If you would say your name and your address.
My name is Virginia Egan, and I live at 54 Jackson Street, the
Hello.
adjacent
How are you?
lot. Good. I did speak to you
My son.
last.
I think it was my son.
Oh.
It's okay,
Somebody-
we saw this.
On the border between the two properties, there is a approximately 90-foot Norway spruce that's over 100 years old. And I am concerned with the digging and construction that the tree will be damaged. And it obviously will be, the roots, which will, the tree might not die right away, it might take a few years, but I am afraid that the tree will die.
So, I'm sorry, the tree is where exactly is the tree?
It's about 4 feet on my property from, so
Jonathan, I can
What's
show
that?
you right here.
when
right
your
there.
picture isn't
Oh,
up.
so it's
Yeah,
all,
it's not working now.
it's not on there?
It's this one. It's on her property, but the
It's a,
roots.
but the root, I get it. No, so the concern
But the
is that
root's
the construction
concerned,
trucks, the
yes.
root will crush.
No, when
roots
they
digging.
dig the foundation, it's going to disturb all those roots on that side.
Yeah, because
Now, I have no problem with the tree, but I did mention to the person that was clearing, and your son then, that not that I want to see the tree destroyed, but if it's going to be a problem and die as a result of digging, I gave them permission to take the tree.
Okay.
I haven't heard anything, and I'm afraid of what's the liability if that tree dies. The arborist wrote a little blurb,
Yep, which I did send out before.
and he said that to get a bigger plan, it would be $750. Well, I didn't want to spend $750.
Yeah, and basically what it said is protection of the roots would be about a 30-foot circumference around the tree.
Yeah.
Which obviously in this type of a lot is
It
not.
can't be done.
Correct, and so that's where we are.
I understand.
And I think it's a viable worry.
It is, so
Question.
what can we do for you? What are you looking for?
Well, I don't see how you can dig that close to the tree. If the tree has to be taken down for the construction to go forward, I am not against
Okay,
having it taken down.
okay.
There's nothing wrong with the tree. Some of the branches on the outside, when they were clearing, did get banged off, which obviously you'd have to trim up because it would be unsightly for that house there. But I'm just worried about the tree being damaged.
Right. So if I understand you correctly, what you're looking for is should the digging damage the tree enough where it's compromised and could be a safety hazard, you've got an understanding.
But he's
With the-
gonna be gone because the house will already be sold. It's
Well-
not gonna die for a few years.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Right, that's the
Is
concern.
there anything
It's not gonna happen for a
It's-
few years.
I guess what the question is, would the developer be willing to cut down that tree?
I'm gonna take the tree.
Yeah, no, I mean, not that I really want the tree gone, but if it has to be. But you understand what I'm saying? I
I
just
do
don't
clearly
want the tree to wither away and die.
And then be a hazard.
Yeah.
And then
So if we
be,
take the tree and give you 5 in replacement for it,
and give me what?
5 new trees,
You know what I would like is something.
whatever you like.
Well,
Okay, good.
there's no buffer on the
Okay.
street. I have a pool. I might as well be sitting on Pearl Street now, because there's all the trees along the street were taken down. So it's like sitting out on the street.
So,
If I had some kind of a buffer there,
Like
but
like a fence or
a fence or arborvitae or something.
So we happen to have bought a Christmas tree from him.
And
They're full of
it's
trees.
not that I want to see the tree gone. I mean,
No, I got
we
you.
had
We have
a
something
bald
going.
eagle sitting in that tree a week ago.
they love those Norway spruces.
So, but they have a lifespan of 200 to 300 years. So the tree's not going to die unless
We killed it.
the roots are.
the roots. Okay, I was afraid
So-
you'd be
And
against
is
doing
the-
yeah.
I'm not angry.
Is the deal
Okay,
then
but you
to,
I
understand.
completely understand.
Okay.
so is the deal then to preemptively just take down the tree and replace it with something else, or
I'll
is
tell you a
it?
little bit about my experience with this. So we had a similar situation on a site plan approval that we did up in Maine. There was a beautiful tree,
Mhm.
and we were within 7 feet of it. We brought an arborist in. He gave us a plan for 3 years where he came and injected the soil with fertilizer. And we had to put a lot of water to the tree. You know, we were much, much closer, 7 feet. It's been 5 years, the tree's still alive.
Okay, well,
So, I
that's,
mean, I think with the proper care, I'd hate to take the tree.
well, the
I'd
thing
rather have an
is,
arborist come in and give us a plan and make it part of the approval that we'll manage the
Okay.
plan for 3 years.
well, this is,
Or I'll take the tree.
they said it
And I'll
was
bring it.
$750 to get their further information of how you could take care of the tree.
It was 3,000 up there for 3 years.
I mean,
He came in and he trimmed the tree, and he did something with fertilizer. I don't know what he did, and he put a lot of water to the tree, and the tree survived. It's beautiful.
and it was 90 feet tall.
Oh, it was more than 90. It was huge.
Well,
It's right at the front of the project.
before we decide,
Sure.
if you could speak to an arborist
Why
and
don't you give me
see.
your arborist name, and I'll call him.
Okay, it was Bartlett Trees.
Sure.
You might have an arborist of your own, but I just didn't want to pay the $750 to
No
get
problem.
the plan. But if they can do that and think that it will save the tree.
That's what I'd like to
Here's
see.
another thing though. I don't know if you have a buyer yet.
I don't.
I mean,
I might be a neighbor,
okay.
especially after I heard about the pool.
So here's, well, it's an above ground.
It's okay.
So here's
I'm not shy.
the house.
Okay,
Here's my property. Here's the tree. It's 90 feet tall. Are these people really gonna wanna look at that tree trunk this close to their house?
Yeah.
If I'm taking care of it, I don't see any reason it's on your property.
I don't think it'd be an issue.
All right, I just want either the tree to be taken care of, or if it can't be, to have it taken down.
it
So
sounds,
I will give you the choice of either I will call Bartlett Tree and get a plan and come back to the board at our next meeting, or I will put a 5, 8 to 10 foot Norway spruce in place of it. That'll give you a screen that's better than arborvitae's, because arborvitae's burn with wind.
Fine, maybe we can talk, I'll give you my phone number
That's
after.
sounds good.
Okay,
So I got an invitation to the pool and your phone number.
Wow.
My age, that's great.
Thank you.
all right, good, thank you for listening,
Thank you.
I've been worried about it for a year.
Okay,
Thank you for joining.
good, thank
All
you.
right, thank you.
Anything
And
else
it's-
concern?
I'm sorry, that's one building, the ADU is attached,
Yeah.
and that's in the front?
It is.
Nathan?
Very good. Dialogue between neighbors is great. I hope to see it continue. I think we can solve two problems here at once, right? Because there was a request, I think, from Miss Egan to have more trees, and Ken too, on the right, which is
Right,
where
which
your
would
residence
be
is.
down a little further than
Very
that
likely.
tree is,
Yeah. So.
down
Yep.
this way.
Oh, okay.
It's my backyard, it's here.
Okay. So it sounds like we can combine, there's an opportunity to combine these ideas and put the screen in, keep the tree, don't keep the tree. I would welcome seeing a letter if you guys have an agreement
No issue.
that we can just include
Yes.
in
Just
the
write my number down.
Absolutely.
in the
Agreed.
decision.
Thank
Agreed.
you.
And if it needs more enforcement than that, then we can
I think that
we
should
can go down that
should
road,
be
but
plenty.
I prefer not to.
Yeah.
Thank
I
you.
agree.
Excellent. Great. Good. I think,
Thank you.
Motion to continue.
yeah, we need a motion to continue.
Wait, we make sure that there's any more comments.
Any more comments? Yep, come on up.
More trees.
Hi, sir.
Fred Igo, Pleasant Street. Just to clarify what you're saying for everyone. So if they decide to keep the tree, do you still do the extra trees? For the buffer?
I think it's up to the parties to decide.
We haven't
Come back
But
to
you
it.
wanted those trees for a different reason.
Yeah,
True. So we do have an
You're
interest.
merging two.
That's a separate issue.
Yes.
Two purposes.
Yes.
So you're definitely gonna do the buffer then? To solve the other problem?
So it's been requested, and
I see.
they're going to talk about it. So when they come back to the next planning board meeting, there'll be a presentation of what was agreed upon.
Right, I
Just
didn't
trying
think
to-
that. I
So
still
there's
want
no
the buffer
decision
into the
tonight.
tree.
I understand.
We're waiting for them to
We're
come back with the requests and see what they do with the plan.
You're merging two things and it could get, because you might go one way with that, might go another way,
Yeah.
just to
Yeah.
point that out.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for asking.
Oh, I thought you were going to do a motion for continuance.
Oh,
No, you don't have to, someone else can do
Ken
it.
was starting, but
No, Ken,
you're good.
I'm glad.
Go ahead.
I move that we continue the public hearing for 50 Jackson Street to our next planning board meeting.
April 28th.
I second that.
Wait, hold on.
Wait,
April 28th, are you?
I'm back.
Okay.
you will be back? Okay,
I am coming back on the 25th.
okay.
Thank
So,
you.
all right, we have that in a second. Any further discussion?
We did not have a second.
I did, I seconded
Okay.
it. I did, I seconded it, Heather.
Quick question. What is the time frame for this? 60 days, 90 days for conditional approval, constructive approval?
Oh yeah, we're well
Yeah,
outside.
your
of
time's
it.
done.
So we're good.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, Ken?
Aye on the continuance.
Nathan?
Aye.
Julie?
Yes.
The chair votes aye. We'll see you next meeting.
Maybe we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Enjoy the warm weather.
Yes.
All right.
Danny, do you want something in writing for the next week? Want to put something in an email to you?
Yeah, if you could.
I'd like to make a motion to open up the public hearing for 64 Littleton Road, map 36, parcel 257. This would be site plan review under 9.6 land clearing and minor stormwater management permit. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, Ken?
Aye.
Nathan?
Aye.
Julie?
Yes.
And the chair votes aye. Welcome, gentlemen. If you could just do the usual introduction of yourselves.
Of course. Good evening. For the record, Jim Basile, Goldsmith Preston Ringwall.
Thank you, Jim.
Lim Tiv, Goldsmith Preston Ringwall, GPR for short.
Hi, Lim Hunt. So I think what we'll do is the usual, I'll have Danny set it up, explain why it comes under site plan review and minor stormwater, and then I'll turn it over to you to walk us through the narrative.
Just so that everyone, my internet's out, so I can't access plans either because I'm on the server and everything. So I know we have plans. Just saying in case we, nothing is going to be up there. So
A quick question. I'm wondering why application plans, complete plans, are not uploaded to the town website still?
No, they're there.
they are.
No, not the complete set. I had to come down here to get them. Right.
I was just looking. I sent it to the board and they saw it.
Okay.
It's
Because when you look as a resident, it's not all there.
I don't have a different access.
Yeah, we have the same.
yeah, they all have the same access as you. I have a different access, but they all have the same access as everyone else.
Okay, because what I got in hard copy was a lot bigger than what's on the website.
Okay, let me just see 1 second. It may have been that you clicked into the A&R plan one because there's two separate items of 64 Littleton Road.
Yeah, it's downloaded
So
for a long
yeah,
time.
there's an A&R one, which is the one that we did earlier, and then above that one is the public hearing.
Yeah, but the actual application also wasn't
May I show
set
you?
there.
I read it.
I saw it.
Okay.
Let me just. I'm gonna pull
I
it
just
up.
pulled it up. May I
Oh,
show it?
yeah, go ahead.
It is separate. Is it okay if I come over?
Yeah.
So I went.
Send it.
It's
It's
on
quick
the
to-
website.
Click to see the link to see the
We're at
document.
current projects, this is where, right, yeah. And now we're at 64.
Yep.
And then I went to the site plan review and plan set. I don't want to download anything from the PDA file. I'm going to that's down there.
So I looked at it, it didn't, all right, now it's all there. When I looked at it this afternoon, it wasn't all there.
It took, no, I looked at it earlier too.
Oh.
It just took a long time to load.
Okay.
It's a big file.
Because it only
And there are
showed
two.
one page.
But that's the first link.
Yeah, it's been up there for about
Versus
2
the
weeks.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, great, thank you.
Yeah, of
So I
course.
just wanted to-
Yeah, and if you ever have questions like that, you're welcome to reach out to me and shoot me an email, and I can always get it over to you.
But we
Okay,
voted
great,
to open
thanks.
it.
I don't think we voted to open it.
Did we vote to open it? Did we
No,
vote?
we didn't vote on it.
She stopped us before the vote, right?
Oh, we did.
No, we voted.
You did vote. It is open.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And then we
That's what I
welcome you.
thought.
Just double check.
Okay.
Danny,
Yes.
Good thing we're being recorded.
lead us through, why is this site plan, why is
Yes,
stone?
so this project triggers our land clearing under
Amendment.
9.6. You know, any project of 10,000 square feet or more of land clearing. So this project has about 33,000 square feet of land clearing. I think it's right around there. And because of that, that also triggers a minor stormwater management permit as opposed to a major because it's under the 40,000 square feet. So with this project, they are proposing to have 3 single-family homes with an ADU, an attached ADU on each of the lots as well. There's a stormwater component to this. There's a detention basin just north of the house number 3.
Quick correction, not a detention basin by definition, is a ponding area.
Okay.
It is a what?
A ponding area.
And it's for all 3 of the
That's correct.
For the stormwater, yeah.
All right, so can you explain that to me?
What?
So it's one stormwater, but across 3 different potential ownerships. So
That's a
how-
question that I have already
How
put
will
into
that be
them.
maintained?
That's a comment that they have to address.
You understand the concern, right? It's
Yeah.
like, okay, who has responsibility for this piece?
Yep.
And how do we
That was
keep it
it was-
operated and maintained into the future? So
Yeah. It is
it's
a
not
comment.
neglected and then you know
Mhm.
what happens next. It
Yeah.
fails. right?
So that is a comment that I had. So that is
Okay. And so,
and-
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and just quickly, department head comments were done and they were sent out to the applicant for review, for responses as well. So they have those.
So the responses are ready, but you have the department head comments.
Yes.
Good. Excellent. There was something else now I can't remember.
It's in the application.
Yeah.
Waiver request.
There are-
So,
yeah, there's-
how far can we
whole
get tonight?
application.
Yeah.
I think the first one, obviously, we need to do is the application fee. That is the waiver that they've requested.
Well, there's a bunch of waivers. That's one of them.
Yes, but I think that is the most important one we should do first,
Okay.
right now.
So I'm going to allow the representatives then to make a case. Remember why?
Would you like a presentation for the project first? prior to getting
Yeah, let's do the project.
Yeah, why don't we do the project, then we can
You're
get to
right. Let's do the presentation. Let's do that.
I feel like Danny already did a pretty good job of covering everything, but just kind of reiterate again. Property is being subdivided into 3 lots.
Sorry, but if I missed it, you have to,
He
you
did.
did when?
Yep,
I
he
was
did.
there.
Jim
Okay.
Basile.
What was it?
I want to go home.
Do you want,
and
can
find
I
out.
hold,
Jim
you want me to hold this
President
up so people can, it could be on the video?
No.
No,
No,
no.
Okay.
they can find it on the website.
Okay.
They can find it on the website.
So go, please, go ahead.
So existing property to be subdivided into 3 separate lots with 3 single-family dwellings, ADU, separate access driveways, water service, sewer connections. And with that recharge or area to the north of service, all 3 of the properties. We had a pre-application meeting with various department heads to kind of discuss our approach for this. Typically, this project, residential in nature, it wouldn't trigger the mass stormwater standards because the threshold for that is over 4 single-family dwellings. This is 3 single-family dwellings, so we wouldn't be subject to that, but we do have the minor stormwater permit aspect to it. So we do want to provide some sort of stormwater for the site. So we used a mass balance approach with 1 inch of surface runoff per a square foot of impervious area for the total post-development site. So that's how we determined the sizing for the detention basin, yes.
So, excuse me, so in determining both the technical determination sizing and then also for legal requirements, so this is still treated as 3 single families in, say, 3 units instead of 6, because it's 3 single families and 3 ADUs.
Correct.
But the technical requirements and the legal requirements remain the same as if it were just 3 single family residences?
It's based on the size.
Yeah, it's just based
Okay.
on the size.
All right, I'm just clearing that for,
Yeah, because it's just based on impervious area.
just on the impervious area. Okay, I just want that clarified for the record. Thank you.
100%. And so that's how we kind of size out the area. And ultimately, there is no record of existing stormwater system for the current site.
Right.
So we feel that what we're providing to service all three of the houses and ADUs, we feel like that will provide an improvement to the site. That's our intent. And we do have the waivers, but we also have those, received the comments that we'd be happy to kind of like go through some of those to make sure we're all on the same page. So if you'd like, we can kind of run through the comments first and then get the waivers, or if you want to do the waiver.
I guess I'll try to lay this out and see where we want to go. Ultimately, the goal for today is I'm hoping, I had hoped that we can close today, but that's slowed on. I'm hoping at least for today we can get clarifications and directions on how we can provide a revised plan, along with the comments that we received last Friday, Thursday, I can't remember. So it was, a bit of a short notice, but we can make it work. The comments to us seem relatively minor, at least for some of them. I had reached out and spoke with Matt Hernan, the town engineer, regarding his comments more specific to the utilities, knowing full well that we have to work with Matt, as we've done on previous projects, to give him a utility plan in order to do the utility connection with the application. So he was very agreeable to, he doesn't want to get into the weeds of the utility requirements or how it's laid out, before planning board. So he's very much agreeable to, table his comments, at least the ones pertaining to utilities, and work it out with us on a later date. That being said, we do have comments from Danny and other department heads, so we do want to get directions on and get clarifications on.
Are you going to get clarifications directly from the departments, or are you looking for clarifications from us right now here?
From planning board members.
Okay, so let's say, Danny, help us guide us through.
What do you mean by clarification?
Yes, please. Help us out.
I guess a couple of the clarifications that I want to get is in regards to the landscaping requirement, as well as the requirements to submit a photometric plan. As we understand,
There's a waiver request.
Yeah, I think you're doing a waiver, Rick. Wasn't that?
So, the way we had read the site plan regulation, the zoning bylaw, is that it didn't seem for the residential project that we were filing for that we would be subject to that, and there are no particular requirements pertaining to a single family. So we weren't sure if we even needed to apply for it.
So under our site plan regulations, you have to follow all of our site plan regulations. So that's why we typically, at this point, like in the last application, they also requested a waiver from the traffic and from the photometric. So I would just suggest submission of the waiver request, which I agree with you. We typically would not require it on this. We wouldn't, because with a residential, you're only going to have either what's on the front of the house, or if you put something small on the front of the driveway. So typically we wouldn't require it on that, but we don't have separate regulations for these minor projects, which we have been in discussions about trying to differentiate. But right now we don't, so I would suggest submission of a waiver.
Gotcha.
Because a waiver request, because a traffic also, like a traffic request on this one wouldn't make sense either.
Exactly.
In that case, I still want to bring up the one regarding the landscaping, because as I understand, reading through the zoning regulation, because the site plan regs points you to the zoning bylaw. Zoning bylaw does exempt single-family homes from providing a landscaping plan.
Yeah, but that's if you don't trigger 9.6. And that's the same argument we had with the previous applicant.
Okay.
He went through the ZBA, went through all that. Like, he went through basically the argument that because typically single-family homes aren't required under site plan review, they normally aren't. We have a bylaw that says anything over 10,000 square feet triggers site plan review. So now you fall into site plan review.
So, I got a comment too on what Danny's saying, just for the board and for myself, just to double check this, okay? So basically what we're saying is, any project that triggers site plan review needs to go to the site plan review regulations and go through it's same in the application. The application has all those boxes that you check.
Correct.
If you trigger a situation in the site plan regulations you don't think applies, you should ask for a waiver.
Correct.
In all probability, if there's a logic to it, the board will grant the waiver. But
Likely.
because the applicant is saying it's residential, maybe we don't even have to ask for the waiver. Is that what you're saying, limit, basically?
Yes. Yeah, because it says here
I mean, I've got the
specifically,
thing right here, I've got the whole regulation longhand here.
so under section 4C14,
In the site plan review regulations.
under the site plan review regulations, a landscaping plan and description of on-site open space that meets the requirements of section 9.1.6 and 9.2 of the Ayer zoning bylaw shall be provided.
Right. But
So when you go under,
what's the number again?
9.1.6 and 9.1.
and 9.2.
Oh, that's referring back, but what's the site plan number?
Oh, the site plan regulation is,
It's 4C14.
4? There's the outdoor lighting, there's traffic,
It's before
C.
that.
right here.
14. I think it's.
I got it highlighted already because we did this
Yeah.
before.
Yeah, we've run into this.
So, yeah, we waived this before.
So we have waived it, but we have had discussions recently, relatively recently, in the last couple of projects, which actually Hut was part of some of those, where waiver requests for landscapes were requested, but there was a growing concern that continuous waivers
Yes,
on
of the same
these.
type.
Yeah, we're getting the same waivers.
But that was a commercial property.
Yeah, and that was a commercial property.
So there's a
But
difference here.
correct, I agree. I'm just saying that this was brought up,
Okay.
and the board did feel at that point that waivers should be kept to
Right.
not just at that point had been a lot of these had been giving much easier, not easier, but much more. So, and the reason I brought it up was because as part of this project, there's a couple of trees. There's a lot of trees in the back that are going to be cut down, and then there's like 5 or 6 larger trees that are on the property that are also getting cut down. So, for me, was how are those trees going to be replaced? Because the intent of this bylaw is to protect as many trees as we can, and based on what I see, is a lot of trees are getting cut, and there's no replication that I see at all.
Okay. So I want to go back to the section of regulations. Just to,
So in
again, I just want to
in the
understand the language behind it
application, you only have 3 waiver requests
Yep.
at the moment.
at the moment. Yep.
And we're basically talking about a situation where the application in your mind is incomplete because it doesn't have a landscape plan, for instance, or the rest of the requirements. Is it easier for you to just put in a landscaping plan than to go through this discussion?
So bringing up the discussion is not, I'm not.
For political reasons, I mean, it's just.
No, I'm not. And the reason why is I'm trying to get to the language of the waiver itself. Because specifically under 4C14, it says you have to provide a landscaping plan that meets the requirement of 9.1.6 and 9.2. Now, 9.1.6 under the zoning bylaw pertains to parking facilities with more than 5 parking spaces,
Right.
which we're not.
It's a commercial requirement. more
And
than-
9.2 is under, new construction or substantial reconstruction in business district, industrial district, downtown Ayer, Park Street, and multifamily. So what I'm trying to get to is that, we could provide landscaping, I just don't have the directions of where to go. Because, under conservation, if we were to remove a tree and within the buffer limit, there's a guideline to tell you exactly how you can do that. In this case here, how do you make the judgment of what meets the regulations, but at the same time doesn't add unnecessary cost to the landowner for a project of this scale? That's
a fair question.
It's a fair question. It is. It's definitely a fair question. The only thing I would suggest, well,
I can't make a suggestion.
so the only thing with this is, so I agree with you in what the argument you're making. For me, it's not really more of the landscape plan per se. It's replacement of those trees.
Okay.
That's really kind of where I wanted to curtail my comments. Or,
Okay.
you know, what you do around the house has I don't really think has a bearing on the planning board. You know, it's more of in the sense of like, you know, around a foundation and what a person who's going to live in the house is going to want. The biggest thing is more of the replacement of those trees and around, and you're cutting down all of those trees along the northern portion of the site, along that property line. There's a lot of trees that are going to be cut down in that area. You know, the intent of this bylaw is to try to save as many trees as we can, and if we can get replication. So it's more of like, what can you replicate for those trees that are being cut down?
Okay. So that's what I'm trying to get to. I'm just trying to get to, like, I don't know if you're looking for a number, just anything in general. Like, that's really it.
I mean, for me, more of, you know, replacement of those. There's like 5 or 6 trees, and obviously you're not going to replicate everything that you cut down along that border.
Right.
But some replication would help.
Okay.
I don't have a number in mind because I don't know how many trees are out there. Also, like, I understand, I get the argument of the burden, you know, but
it's not even
a good faith effort in the sense for me on what you would put in for for trees would, that's kind of like where I was going with that comment.
Gotcha. Okay.
I see why you have a problem with even the waiver request, because the language of 916 doesn't even apply to your project.
That's correct.
So how can you write a waiver to a piece of a language that doesn't apply?
Because the waiver would be from the site plan regulations, not from the bylaw.
Yeah, but because the reference says it'll be built in
I
accordance
know.
to this.
But that's kind of
the double entendre.
It is, and I get it, and I don't know why our bylaws are written that way in regulations. It's something that Heather and I have also discussed, and it's on our list of things we want to do. But you know,
and
there's a lot of things in our bylaws that we've been slowly trying to work on. But
I don't want to be pedantic about these things either. It's
I get it.
Question. Seems like there's a cascading effect. You're triggering the minor stormwater, which your solution for this is this ponding area.
It says we're going to comply with that.
And the ponding area is requiring more clearing.
That doesn't apply.
That's correct.
Because it's commercial. All right.
Could there also be a solution with another, I'm out of my league here, but with another stormwater solution that doesn't clear as much and is equally as beneficial, right?
That's where I would say cost then comes in.
Right. Only you guys know the answer.
It would be more expensive putting chambers. That's correct. Because it's not just chambers; it's collection point, intake, and filter, O&M. Is a whole.
So this is better. This is a less expensive solution, even if there's some tree planting that makes an effort. That I appreciate that there's no direction to replicate some of the trees that are gone.
Yeah, and the basin was chosen kind of strictly from a low impact development point of view under the Mass Stormwater Handbook. Ponding area or basin or any sort of detention or infiltration basin is considered low impact development.
Easy to maintain.
Easy to maintain, and ultimately, you know, the chambers that we put in, unless you provide a proper access or maintenance, is going to fail. And this basin function as something that you can see clearly. So if there's sediment buildup, anything, you know, trash you can pick up, is very easy to access for the homeowner to take care of.
So it doesn't answer the question for guidance. I don't know if there's a, do we have a direction for giving guidance for
Stormwater or the landscape?
landscape?
For me, I would just, mine is more replication for those trees that are being cut down. I'm not saying 20, 30 trees, I'm saying,
And we don't know either, and that's ultimately where we are. We're gonna go back to the landowner and just have a conversation with them to see where it's appropriate to actually put in trees. That's
Plenty of room.
So would it be appropriate, can you do with a narrative instead of a plan? Say, for instance, I'm looking at the layout here, the 3 lots, and you've shown the building setback typical, and whatnot. That envelope that the building sits within. You could almost do a narrative and say, along the line of the building setback, there'll be trees replaced, or something along, there'll be 15 trees replaced. Some narrative that ties in with the shape.
but I guess the one thing would be is where how do we know that those trees are being planted where they're planted? Because a narrative it's much harder to describe in a narrative form where you're going to be planting a tree. Because if you show it on a plan, it's right there.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Mr. Diskin, if you're aiming to close out the meeting tonight, we can always just do it as a follow-up plan. That's what you're angling for?
Just put it on the plan.
Okay.
Sorry, that is probably the fastest way.
Just put it on the plan. Half an hour's worth of work will get it done.
That's no problem.
Now, I guess we're not going to resolve this evening disposition of
I got
stormwater
a
as we
couple of
talked
quick
earlier,
questions.
right?
Well, I guess the stormwater is something that I want to
Yeah, let's talk about
talk about that as well.
Yeah, let's discuss that.
So-
That's this plan, the last plan, right, grading and drainage?
So the stormwater, interestingly enough, we submitted a waiver request specifically for the stormwater, but hearing the project before us, I was kind of curious if, that same set of regulations for minor stormwater applies where we wouldn't even need a waiver request because we're providing treatment for the 1 inch times the impervious area.
No, so that's different. That one doesn't trigger a minor.
It does not?
No,
Okay.
because it was under 20,000 square feet. So that's where we were talking about rewriting or adding into the regulations.
Oh,
If
I
you
see.
trigger site plan review,
Gotcha.
but don't trigger a minor or a major, you have to account for the 1 inch storm.
Understood.
Okay.
Okay.
1 inch over the impervious. That's kind of like what we were talking about there.
Yep.
In your case, you do trigger a minor.
Gotcha. I appreciate the clarification.
Yeah.
The waiver request we provided is for
The minor is under our local stormwater regulation.
Yep. The waiver request that we provided is to waive the strict adherence to the local stormwater regulations under section 2.9 of the town of Ayer stormwater regulations. Ultimately, the project that you see before you is, again, 3 single-family dwellings with ADUs. As Jim mentioned earlier, for any single-family dwelling or any multi-family dwelling, really, under 4 units is exempt entirely from the Mass Stormwater Handbook. Anything between 5 to 8 units, you have to provide some sort of groundwater recharge or some sort of on-site treatment. For a project of this scale, we're not doing a whole lot. It's not a commercial project. It's very much low load of TSS as well as phosphorus being generated on site. And the areas that we have impervious area where you'll see traffic load is being sheet flowed towards the ponding area that we're providing. In addition to that, we're also collecting the roof runoff for all 3 houses and sending it over to the ponding area the same way as the sheet flow. We provided enough volume to hold 1 inch times the total impervious area on site, which is typical for a lot of different municipalities these days who have adopted the EPA's new stormwater regs, only specifically for residential dwellings, with the understanding that if you're doing something on site, you're at least trying to provide some sort of treatment and groundwater recharge. Happy to answer any questions about that.
So, in this one, I'm kind of out of my expertise. I usually rely on Matt on this one. Matt's not here really to be able to speak on this, so I don't feel comfortable at least in giving an opinion on this. I would rely on Matt on this one.
Can we get a letter from him? Or next?
I can ask
Yeah,
him.
he'll look at it. I mean, when you look at the set of drawings that you turned in, it's clear that an effort has been made, you know, to work this in the right way. Basically towards the retention area and whatnot. And you're collecting roof drains as well and sending them over there. I mean, that's a good thing.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
For the plan? In your application, you state that if there was any problem with the pond, it would be draining out, trickling roughly 100 feet and into a neighbor's property. What neighbor?
You.
And that's exactly what I was afraid of.
Exactly, I can see it right here.
Because we already get flooding naturally from that area. And the fact that you show my property line, but you don't show the location of the house, the other things there kind of gives the illusion that, oh, this is not going to be a problem. But you're planning to drain something onto my property if it fails, and unfortunately I don't have the pictures with me, but when we have a wet season or a lot of heavy snow melt, heavy rain, we get flooded. Seriously, we've had damage in 2018 from the flooding that I had to come before this board in conservation to get help with. And this is just going to make it worse as you're taking out all the vegetation and you're adding water to collecting, plus groundwater runoff, because that's all higher land that already drains down to us. So to me, I know you're trying to keep costs down and so forth, but it can't be at my expense. And the trees that you were talking about, this is your trees. It's not 5, 10, or 15 trees. It's this whole area. And that was, in the plans originally when my house was built, considered wetlands. And the boards at the time changed that designation.
Well, it shows a piece of wetland in the corner. It's right on the edge.
The wetlands are still behind. In fact, if you look on the plan where you see
Yeah, we see it.
the border right there, that marker is at the corner of my shed. My house is 15 feet from the lot line, so you're going to be directing all of that water in. And we and the prior owner, original owner, put in a lot of effort to build up gardened areas as sort of a berm. And we still get a lot of water, and now you're going to just add more because there'll be nothing there to absorb it or slow it down. Plus the ponding. And I just can't see how that's going to work without floating us away.
Is there any testing? Any testing done here?
There will be.
There hasn't been here.
No.
There's been no depot testing done.
So you don't even know if this will infiltrate fast
Well,
enough?
he's not saying it is an infiltration.
It's a ponding area, but it's gonna infiltrate at some point.
Right.
And
It doesn't necessarily mean 72 hours, but it should infiltrate.
Right.
There's
when
no
we get a
shot.
heavy rain, we can go, even, when it's dry, we suddenly have a vernal pool in our backyard.
This is a simple question. This is a really, really easy question, is what I'm gonna ask.
Yeah.
Why is that far to that side of the lot? Why not put it right directly behind the house in the middle?
And I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The windows.
Sorry, it's just warm in here.
Okay, you can hear me now.
I can, but that was actually quiet for you to begin with,
And to
so.
that point too, anytime, Ken, and I know we don't have, anytime you move those plans,
Oh, I'm sorry.
I can't hear anything besides the rest of the
All right, so here's my question, very simple question.
Yep.
The retention, not retention,
The ponding area.
situation
Yeah.
is in, I would call it, on the drawing, it's on the northeast of the drawing.
That's correct.
But it's actually, it's east
Yeah,
of the, it's on
northeast.
the- it actually is northeast.
Yeah, it's northeast.
Yeah, it just turns out the road goes that way. why not put it on the lot in the middle, further away from the abutter's property, in some chance of creating an actual retention system there, rather than the so-called just ponding system?
Because we wouldn't be able to pick up the flow from lot 3.
From which one?
Lot 3.
It's lower.
The one on the right-hand side is lower.
It's lower.
Okay.
And just to clarify.
So it's sloping, you're putting it in the lowest point you can get to get the grading from the third lot
That is correct.
back down there.
Just to clarify, right now as it stands, Littleton Road, as well as the existing structures that are on, shown within this project area, they all sheet flow towards the northeast corner of the property. So that's why we placed the basin, the ponding area there, excuse me.
Okay. That's what's going now. It's just,
Specifically to slow down the water, give it a chance to go into the ground, and if it needs to overspill, it's going to trickle down through the stone that's placed as the overflow for the bypass, allowing it to continue as it does in existing conditions.
Right, but again, if you're clearing this, you're preventing groundwater runoff from slowing. So you're going to increase everything coming this way from, if this is your house,
If it makes
all
it
around
easier-
here,
Yep.
all around here, this is what you're clearing, and back here is going to run slope down because the land does slope, all the groundwater. Plus, if your pond is back here and draining towards here, water runs from here back like this into our yard at the back. All this area back here is wetlands. All this side here is wetlands with a running stream year round.
Does it do that currently?
Yes,
Oh, great.
even in drought season. So any water added to that is just going to make it worse. And literally, my house is right here where it's flat. It's lower than this, all of this is higher, much higher than we are.
So what can we do about
This is
standing-
higher back here than we are.
So
And
the only,
I mean, I'd be happy to have, and this is something I came here to offer, I would be very happy to invite all the
We're gonna have to do a
stakeholders
site
on
plan.
this,
Site
the
plan.
engineers, members of the various town departments, to come and walk through and see that right now, even though we haven't had much rain for a while.
We got
and
rain
it's
right now.
significant, yeah. You can see where it gets wet. I mean, there are times when we cannot go out our back door at the walkout level and not step on boggy, wet sponge.
If I could, I apologize for the voice, had surgery recently. But do I understand correctly that the general rule is that we accommodate for 1 inch of rain, and the expectation is that if there's more than that, it's going to overflow from the basin?
that's right.
No, so in this scenario, so they trigger a minor stormwater permit. They have kind of a different standard. They have to follow the stormwater regulations. They're asking for a waiver for that.
Yeah, and
The other house we were talking about had to do the 1 inch.
Right. So I'm just concerned that we're gonna end up floating away simply because they don't want to put in the extra money into the project to really do it the right way. I'm not trying to block the project, but I'm trying to get to a point where we have clear and open communication and talk about problems and come up with solutions together. Not only for us, but for the people who are eventually going to live there. And another thing, if you're gonna have a ponding area like that, who's going to monitor it, enforce it? If you're saying, well, the homeowner can maintain it, how many homeowners do you know that know how to do it and what not to do and will actually do the work?
It was one
We
that's
don't- This is our third wetlands property. We understand this. But most people don't. And unfortunately in the town, the majority of these developments now, it's an HOA or some. We are stuck with Pingree HOA, and there have been problems with that, not getting done and changing hands and people don't know that they can't go dump things into that ponding area,
So-
and it makes it worse and drainage worse, and so I can't trust that. is
So,
what I'm
and
saying.
I understand where you're coming from. So in terms of the question as to who's going to maintain it and all that, that is something I have already asked questions on. They have to get us answers on. So that is, and also the way our decisions are written now, there's a lot more written into our decisions that would require, monitoring, submission of yearly inspections, stuff like that we do. Now, necessarily would that apply to this project? I don't know. They're requesting waivers. That's all going to get flushed out through this process.
Okay.
So-
We went through some of this before when this A&R project was originally brought up 8 years ago with the Curly Circle project.
Mm-hmm.
And that was originally an 8-acre plot of land
Mm-hmm.
that they cut off the back so that they could have the open space and the drainage areas, ponds and that for Curly Circle.
Yeah.
And held off. So we've been through some of this before, but some of the reports and things, the Oxbow report is referenced in the application, but it leaves out the fact that Oxbow also designated that area to be clear cut as an area of medium concern because, as we noted back then, it is the only unobstructed crossing over 110 from north to south between roughly the Shirley line and the Westford Chelmsford line for wildlife. Everything else has guardrails, buildings, other roads, railroad tracks, sheer drop-offs, and so it is a very active crossing. We have a lot of accidents there.
Okay.
And-
So I need to bring this meeting back under control here.
So we understand where that's coming from. That is not within the planning board's purview. That is not within the planning board's purview.
When you were talking about cutting down the trees, though, that is part of
Yes,
that.
but in terms of the Oxbow and protected, the planning board does not. That's not within our purview for us. If it's something that is natural heritage, or if it's something wetland related, that would go through conservation, not through this board.
Okay.
So where are we with the stormwater then? Right?
I guess the question is, can they address the concerns?
Yeah,
It's not for the board to decide. That is for the applicant to decide.
Yeah, I'll talk a little bit about that. So just to clarify a little bit, the maintenance is going to be strictly under the sole responsibility of the owner for Lot 3. That is going to get recorded as a deed notice, provided that the project can be approved and constructed. If you look at the way that the basin is laid out, the ponding area is laid out, obviously it stretches across to Lot 2 as well. But being that this is a ponding area, a lot of the sediment trap is happening where the overflow is coming out. So cleaning up is a matter of just digging out the lowest point, which is towards where the stone is, which just happens to be located within Lot 3. So it can be made so that Lot 3 is the sole owner and, person responsible for maintenance of the system.
So,
and would that include an operation and maintenance plan?
It does.
Okay.
So I guess that means that it's
excuse
something.
me, please, excuse me. That kind of blows my mind a little bit because at least more than half of it's in Lot 2. So this guy, whoever owns Lot 3, is going to be aware of, we're not to step over and trespass on the other person's property where they're maintaining. Do you understand what I'm getting at here?
I understand. But what I'm saying is that...
I understand what you're saying. You're saying most of the crap will gather at the end, at the northeast corner, which is where, but still there's all that other space. I mean, a pond's a pond. It covers both. What's he going to do? He's going to clear out a little over on one side and just leave the rest of the crap on the other? I mean, that doesn't, I don't understand it.
There's an irony here, because we just approved the A&R.
You gotta mow it.
Change that freaking lot line, you could probably include the whole pond. in
But then
lot-
they don't meet the square footage.
It can also just be a joint
I
ownership.
think they could.
That's where because
It-
you're gonna have to mow that.
Right.
So that person's gonna just mow what's on their property, and then what about the rest?
Yeah. See.
Can you do a deeded right of way?
Not a right of way, but
deeded
a joint
access.
responsibility.
Okay. But you
So-
get deed access to lot
I
3.
don't like the whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, you've got, anyway, there's also open questions that we might see something different in a couple weeks.
I got.
Not exactly, I
Well,
wouldn't say.
I'm just gonna go for my gut here.
Okay.
I don't see this working yet. It's just, you got something crossing two properties, it's not resolved who's gonna maintain it, and who has right to what. I don't think it's, I think this needs some more cooking.
Mr. Chairman,
Go ahead.
if I may, I don't think a joint ownership is that big of a deal. It happens quite often across, residential properties when you have more, stormwater infrastructure going in place now. Additionally, the waiver that we're seeking is, not having to provide strict adherence to the regulations in place, meaning that the system that we design does not come with a typical stormwater management report and all the typical checklists that goes with that report.
And what's the justification for the waiver request, other than it's expensive for you? Is there, because usually the waiver justifications are two things. Either it's irrelevant, it just doesn't apply, it doesn't make sense, or two, there's an advantage to the town or the citizens with the waiver. So where is the advantage or where is it irrelevant?
The advantage is that, well, the whole point of the waiver is that we're trying to, we believe that a project of this scale that is typically exempt from the state regulations, not even to have it provide anything, just exempt completely. If you're building it under the state to ignore stormwater, we are providing something to make an effort to try to meet something.
Well, but from our position, it's not just that an effort and good faith is not enough. We have to see something that's going to practically work.
So, and then I'll talk a little bit about what it would take to bring this project to full compliant.
Okay.
For this project to go into full compliant, we would have to provide a stormwater management report, kind of addressing the TSS removal, phosphorus removal, groundwater recharge, all these different things that typically would fall under it. Additionally, the basin itself would just have to get bigger. So more trees to be cleared, a much bigger overspill, probably a more structured ownership responsibility under the HOA. It can be done. It's just, we don't believe, I think, I forgot who brought it up, clearing trees to put it in a bigger basin. That's the path that we're kind of heading down to. Should we bring this project in full compliance of the local stormwater regulations?
And so I guess the question would be, I think we would have to get something from Matt on this, in terms of that specific waiver.
I got a comment, Mr. Chair. So I want to make a general comment here that I'm so happy that the town of Ayer has this minor stormwater regulation and it applies to this project. Because backing up what Linwood said, if we didn't, this would just go ahead and get built. They would not even have to come to the planning board. It would be 3 8L lots with ADUs allowed, fit in the lot. Really, the only reason they're here is because of 9.6, as you pointed out, tree clearing, and the stormwater. But there would be many situations, many times, this could be built just the way it is, without even coming here. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm happy that we have that, because it shows we outreached in the past to try to figure some of this stuff out, which is good. I almost think that this is a situation where 6 is too much. Maybe 4 is the right number. I'm making
6 is too much?
6 too many buildings. It just might be a situation.
There's
where
technically 3 buildings, that's it.
3 buildings, maybe 2 buildings, 4 units is enough. I'm just thinking, this might be a situation where, I don't know how we would vote it no, but I'm saying this is going to require a lot more work for me to vote it. It's going to be all about figuring out where that drainage is. I'll be honest with you. If you had to put subsurface systems in here and they were really deep, you could make it work. You just have to make sure it works underground, that the subsurface systems perked and it go far enough from the water table. You need testing here for me to understand what's going on.
We would much sooner make a bigger basin than put in chambers.
I know
would
it.
think. But, and
But
to
your
clarify,
response, what you're saying, just like your response was that it seems to always have worked in the past with people joining together, but there's many cases where it doesn't work. Okay, and there's many cases of private driveways that are shared that don't work. So putting neighbors together is a nice thing to have happen, but in the long run, they don't know what they're doing. So that's what happens 30, 40 years from now. But I think this, as I said, I'm pleased it comes before us with these regulations. And I want to see some real serious testing here, know where the groundwater table is, know what can work, what can really be built here to work. And I'm not sure it works. I just don't feel comfortable with it at all.
I know that Matt, the town engineer, isn't here, but I did have prior conversation with him about the testing requirement because he brought it up in his review comment as well. He is agreeable just meeting me on site when they actually carve out the area during construction to
I
confirm
want to
the
remind you,
groundwater.
Matt's a great guy, he's a professional, but he doesn't have a vote.
Yeah, I'm very open to having stakeholders, but everybody involved come and view it from our side because you're not going to see it as well unless you walk around that other side and go through the property and then you realize we had the same problem with MassDOT who said, oh, the culvert under 2A just drains north and goes that way towards the railroad tracks in Epic. And they said, yeah, it goes, but all of that slopes down. And again, we were being flooded from the other side.
So, Danny, what can we do? Are we looking for input from Matt Hernan? Is that where we are at this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But just one final comment, if you don't mind. So I can see where you've got the finished floor elevations on it, you've got the, top of TOF, which I guess is top of floor, top of foundation.
Foundation.
Top of foundation, which I figured it was. The unit on the lot to the right is 4 feet lower, I think I've got it right, maybe 5 feet lower than the unit in the middle. If everything was brought up higher, that would give you the ability to move that water, the whole place brought up. Couldn't you then pitch it back to the middle of the site instead of depending on just following the grade? And
So
got to do some serious thinking here, is what I'm getting at.
we could berm it up, like you said,
If you
but
brought,
it doesn't.
you can change this whole layout, grading wise, and create that water and go another direction.
I guess what I'm trying to get to is, are you trying to mitigate the problem with the joint ownership, or?
No, I'm trying to mitigate the problem of the water. I'm satisfied that the water will be contained on the site and not leave the site. That's what I'm trying to be comfortable with.
Okay.
I'll leave the joint ownership to somebody else, but for the point, I'd like to see it conform much tighter to stormwater regulations and not be looking for any kind of waivers, by really doing some thinking about how you could grade this site and change the direction of the water.
So, I guess just to clarify, even if we were to berm up lot 3 and have all the water pitched to a low point for a basin that sits at lot 2,
Yep.
you'd still have a spillway that dumps water out.
I say dump it
It's
towards
gonna-
lot 2.
No, it's gonna dump, the natural topography of the site is
I know.
going towards the northeast. So
Right.
you're dumping water to the exact same location as we would have now.
Yeah, but what I'm anticipating is, and I guess this is, I know I'm not supposed to be designing at this meeting, so I apologize. If we had subsurface systems, you typically then would only be covering a potential overflow from the subsurface to a small trench of some sort, maybe a stone trench. It wouldn't be the volume of water necessarily would be less in an overflow.
No, I think you're mixing
Over
up.
designing.
Yeah.
Well, hold on here. The ultimate thing is this. If this were a simpler site without water issues, I could see your argument in mind. But we actually already know that this is problematic. That's the issue. We know that right now. And so Ken is right. We got to have the water resolved on site.
So, just to clarify, when you say resolved on site.
Let me ask you one final question, if you don't mind.
Yep.
why doesn't some of this water potentially, if it was a commercial system, let's say, or even downtown, right downtown, the systems go to on-street drainage? Is there existing drainage? There's nothing.
We don't allow
You know,
for that.
can't do that.
Okay,
It's illicit discharge. We don't allow that under regulations.
Overflow, spillway.
No.
Mr. Chair, and Ken, can I?
Yes, Nathan.
Bottom line, we're not going to design it.
Yeah.
But I think there's a requirement out here that's been pretty well almost stated, which is this project is going to need to comply with stormwater regulations. I think that gives direction to the applicant.
We'll need to get clarification from Matt as well.
With Matt.
Yep.
Can I ask a couple questions about plans that relate to this? First of all, in the units here, now I noticed a discrepancy between the set of plans versus the application about the buildings themselves, and it talked about that unit having full basement with walkouts in the back on both the primary and the ADU.
Okay.
The one on the lot 3?
Is that, would that increase or bring up the possibility of somebody increasing the impervious surface by putting patios in or so forth after they're built? And how would that affect this, if so? And number 2, would it help if they didn't have a full basement, so you don't have all that going down, you've got more ground, more soil underneath there to absorb some of that groundwater and runoff. You're not putting the gravel, the sand, and so forth around as much as you would with a slab. And then it also keeps some around. You've got more soil, more ground around to help absorb, slow the runoff. And the other question was, on here in the front corner, up in here, you're not clearing that land. And my question was why? Because I do know as it stands now, it's not bad, but the way the state last, whenever it was, 20-some years ago, paved 110, it came down, runs down from the existing curb cut for that driveway. It all slopes down along the side and doesn't wash out too badly. They fixed it once or twice, but it does drain down, and there is sort of a natural ditch. There's actually 2 stone walls, one closer into that property that it looks like you'll be clearing because it runs through where those units are going to be built, and then one along the property line. And there's a little bit of it's kind of spreads out a little flatter and a little more, and some of that water channels down. That's why it was wetlands in the 20-some, 30 years ago. But it helps channel water back there to this area where you're planning to drain over off onto my property, back by the ponding area. Is there some way that could be worked with? Maybe something with that clearing there to capture some of that groundwater runoff, the street runoff that's naturally coming in here, to maybe reduce what ends up in the ponding area?
You're talking about over here?
Yeah. This section here you're not clearing.
But this is existing grade, existing vegetation we're not touching. And you're asking us to do what?
I'm wondering if, well, first of all, when you do all of this, as was brought up with the other project, most of this is dead and dying off and very large pines. So it will probably be worthwhile because the roots are going to get damaged. I know we have problems just gardening, the roots coming through. And there's a huge pine there that's going to go one way or the other, either onto that unit or onto our house eventually. So you might want to be proactive, remove it, clear it, do something there and add vegetation at the same time that's living, that's going to start drinking that up. Because right now, most of that has a lot of old dead fallen wood, and there's something every winter that comes down.
The whole point of this bylaw is to reduce tree
Right, but
trees.
if you do something with the water and replant.
No, I would strongly disagree on that one. We don't want to cut as trees that are already there because they're already they're already water absorbers. If you cut that down, you're losing that.
And
So that's
But
Okay,
maybe
listen.
then you would have to
Hold
cut
on,
down as
hold on,
many in the
hold on,
back.
hold on.
Through the chairman.
Okay, so we are getting really in the weeds of design here, and we're getting off track. So let's bring it down to what we can actually discuss this evening and do. So we have open issues, unresolved issues with the stormwater. We know we want to have input from Matt. Okay, what else we can do this evening?
the planning board fee schedule. The fee.
You're looking for a waiver.
Yep.
Why? Other than you don't want to pay the money. I mean, seriously, like, what's the rationale?
Well, the rationale is what we had hoped was that if we were able to get a waiver for the drainage requirement for a project of this scale that does not typically come with a full stormwater management report, is a more straightforward project that doesn't need to be reviewed for the full extent of a stormwater report. And the waiver, the reduced fee that we're asking for is to, I believe, $500 per lot, which was, I believe, what the planning board site plan review fee was a few years back.
Yep. Before I got here.
Yeah. We generally believe that, it's a simple enough project.
But I think the conversation for the last half hour says it's not so simple.
Yeah.
I mean, that, right?
It sure does damper.
But I think that's already been defeated.
Yeah, it does
It
damper
is
my
complicated.
argument.
All right, that's a tough one. So my question is to you, do you really want us to bring it to a vote, or do you want to withdraw that waiver request?
We can withdraw it.
Okay, that's withdraw.
One question for you.
Yeah.
What is the gross square footage of this? Because the 7,000 doesn't sound about right to me.
7,000 more.
Impervious? No. Gross square footage of the houses, the units.
Each ADU
There's a
is
difference in the math between the application and plan.
ADU.
That's what I'm just picking up on.
Square feet. Sorry.
Because your application says 7,776 square feet
For all three.
for all three units. Which, if this is a 2,200 square foot house plus
2,700 square feet.
plus the ADU,
2,900.
I don't think that 7,776 is the gross square footage.
Okay, we can take a look at that.
So that's, you'll just have to take a look at that because that's,
2,700 times 3.
Yeah.
This one shows a different numbers for
That's
the
it.
ADU size.
Yeah.
It's 900 plus
By
1,800.
quite a bit.
Each building's going to be 27.
And for the
2,700 times 3 is 70.
single family as
So
well.
Sorry, the application where it says a different number, is that just gross floor area?
because yours says 12,000.
But
Oh, wait,
that's
no,
factoring
no,
driveway area.
sorry. So 2,700 plus the dwelling units
These are the
and the
numbers.
garage.
Mhm.
That's
What is
about
the discrepancy?
6,000, 7,000.
It's
It's
in
over.
the
It's just over
application.
8,000, maybe almost 9,000. But what you have here is 7,776.
Okay, so there's a slight discrepancy there.
Yeah, there's a slight discrepancy.
We can take a look at
Because these
it.
say the ADUs are 2,700 feet.
No, the ADU is only 900.
No.
Right, but on the plan it says
The unit's
2,700.
2,700. 18 for the house and 9 for the, I mean, I didn't even look at it, but usually.
It says 2,700 for all three. For all three.
Okay.
Oh,
3 times 900.
It looked like, when you look at the plan, it looked like you were saying that each primary was
Wouldn't be
2736
legal.
and each ADU. Yeah, well,
Wouldn't be
that,
legal.
Right.
the neighbors and I were all kind of like,
Yep.
okay.
Yeah. So just take a look at that again.
So where are we here, Danny?
And,
So we have withdrawal, the first waiver request is
One
withdrawn.
waiver's gone.
Yep.
Then are we going to discuss the stormwater management waiver request? The stormwater regulations, stormwater management?
That's the one that we need input from Matt.
That's the one we looked for Matt.
And then the next one is the one that we typically get, which I am amenable to that. To that one, we typically get that one on private developments because
Right, because the town will never have.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
Do we want to do that now?
I would suggest we do that.
We
when
do it
our
later,
formal
full waivers?
developments.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
fine. So at least Slim Hunt and Jim know where we're going with this, with these
Yeah.
3 waivers. You know where we are.
And then just submit the one for the traffic, the lighting, and
Gotcha.
the landscape one.
It'll just make life easier.
Yeah.
Landscape one as well?
If
I
you're
thought
if you're
maybe-
gonna ask for it or not,
Okay.
I don't know. I'm just putting it there for you.
Mr. Chair? When, I assume that, as Dana mentioned, the traffic and the other waivers, those are going to be discussed in future hearings?
Absolutely.
Okay, because I wasn't sure what the timeline was going to be for when the neighbors can come and talk to you
Yes, we will
about
discuss
the
that.
screenings and it wasn't tonight.
Yep. Good.
Mr. Chair, one quick question. Can a lot 1 driveway, do we have any regulation that says it can be across from the street?
I don't think we have any regulations on that. I know Matt has looked at it and he was okay with the positioning of the driveway.
Okay.
Because it's right across from Shaker Road.
Yep,
it sure is.
Directly across.
Yep.
Which is probably better that it's that way as opposed to more shifted off.
Yeah, not to mention Lot 1 and Lot 2 holds the existing location of the current driveways.
Okay.
Access.
Okay. I'm not sure we didn't have something.
So is there anything else this evening on this one?
No.
Did you get the kind of, well, you may not have got the answers you want, but at least you have the direction, input and understanding where we are to bring back to GBO? Okay.
Yeah,
To your-
we'll probably most likely reach out to the town engineer to have a further conversation
I
as
would
well.
figure.
But, you know, ultimately, I think what I said is accurate to the point of, should we be required to meet the full extent of the town of Ayer stormwater regulations, we're just cutting down more trees and putting in a bigger basin.
Right, again, I want to hear from Matt.
Yep, and I want to clarify because Mr. Diskin had asked this earlier regarding the outflow for the system itself. Should this be, let's say, a commercial property? We're putting in chambers underground. We will still have an outflow.
Yeah.
You can't
It's an
not
overflow.
have an
I
outflow.
understand, it's an overflow,
Yep.
but it's not the same as an outflow. It's an emergency overflow kind of concept.
Functionally, they work the same way, as long as you don't extend the peak runoff rates for the 100-year storm. And the overflow can be classified as an emergency overflow or just a regular overflow.
Motion to continue?
I believe that was.
Do you guys want to do a site visit before we start that?
I think it's still.
Yeah, I do want to do a site visit. I think we should. Absolutely. You have some dates in mind?
So typically we've been doing Thursday mornings.
That's my favorite.
Obviously, this Thursday doesn't work. So it would be the 23rd or well, the 23rd is the next one before the 28th, which is our next meeting.
Can we do the 23rd, 8 o'clock?
I have to check actually, but you guys schedule it and I'll figure it out.
Sure. Okay.
It's school vacation week. I can try to make it work, but
Will you send us a reminder
And the problem
email?
is Kathleen is also.
She's not there either?
Well, she's
don't know.
not on to know.
Well, do you want to tentatively schedule it and then get back to
Yeah,
us?
yeah.
You want to do that? And you'll email the consequences
is
discussion?
it too early to be? Is this how early we usually go on these? Yeah.
What?
Well, we have different times. We
Okay.
go, yeah.
Yeah, typically usually after the first meeting we typically go.
Okay.
Because we have to technically discuss the site visit in a public hearing.
Yes.
And you have to post it.
Yeah, I have to post it, but the fact that we've discussed it and we have a tentative date, I can now, figure out exact time that
I
works.
should be able to make it.
That works for everyone and, get back to everyone. And then be
I
able
just want to clarify for this site walk that is, I guess, classified as a public hearing meeting, or is it a public meeting, or is it a site walk that is?
It's a site walk.
Okay.
But I still have to post an agenda because we'll have a quorum.
Okay.
So legally I have to.
Gotcha. And I just want to clarify, is it just for the authorized personnel to be on site, or?
Yes, it's only for the planning board and obviously the property owners.
Gotcha.
It's up to the property owners to determine who else is on site.
Understood. Thank you.
Just give me a heads up so that I can, because our property is locked in the back, and you will go through it.
Yeah, so that's kind of up to the board if they want to go on your property or not. I'm not going to speak for them. They can decide that at that point. As of right now, we will just be on this property because legally it's for this property.
Okay.
So if you want to, when we're out there,
I think
give them.
if you want to see where the outflow goes,
Yep.
and how the water actually flows.
Yeah.
It's going to be a little hard for you to climb over the stone wall in the back.
Okay.
Not that hard.
Good.
All right, so continuance.
Yeah, we have a motion for continuance. Nathan's Johnny on the spot. Nathan on the spot. Go ahead.
I move that we continue the public hearing for 64 Littleton Road to the next planning board meeting, April 28th.
Seconded.
And we have a second from Julie. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Ken?
Yes.
Nathan?
Aye.
Julie?
Yes.
Chair votes aye.
Thank you.
We'll see you soon.
Thank you very much for your time. Good night.
Have a good night.
All right, project status updates, my man.
Let's.
Yes.
There's nothing on fire, right?
There's nothing on fire.
And in fact, we already got the update on
Yeah.
Lincoln Hills, which is the biggest one, right? So I'd like to make a motion to approve the March 24th, 2026 minutes as amended by myself and sent to all you guys.
I'll second, but I have a small change.
Oh, let's do the small change. You got,
So you have the minutes with you?
I don't have access to anything right now.
wait, I got minutes.
But yeah, and Heather doesn't have.
I do.
I can pull them up.
I have a paper one.
I can't.
Well, no, I have them saved on here. I have them on here.
Okay.
What
no,
you got?
so Heather
The
can.
very first paragraph.
What does it say?
Hold
says-
on, I don't want
It says that this has to do with the senior center discussion, the A&R. It says that the property is owned by the DPW. It's owned by the town of Ayer, used by the DPW. And it also talks about the size of the lot, and I think it says it's 30, it starts with 75 and ends up at like 30. There's a typo, it's an extra 3 in it. It's 3.36. Doesn't it say 33.36?
Yes, 13.36.
So it's supposed to be 3.36 acres.
We'll create 3.36.
Yes.
So she'll update them. We'll sign them at the next meeting.
Yeah, okay.
We'll just do it for this. Just do it the next meeting.
What was the square footage again?
It's 3.36 is the resulting
Okay.
new lot, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn?
Do we move motion to?
Oh, wait, do we close the other one?
No, there was a
Second.
motion and a second in discussion.
We did vote, didn't we?
We
So
voted, Heather.
no, you didn't vote.
No one voted, there was a motion and a second, he had two.
I think
one
because-
voted.
Oh, that's right.
Because there was comments and there's changes.
Okay.
We vote to.
It's up to the board if they decide they want to vote on the minutes approved as amended during the.
Can we just approve them as amended?
Yeah.
Yeah,
can do
so
it that
approved
way.
as amended, right?
Yes.
Okay. How do you vote, Ken?
Aye.
Nathan?
Aye.
Julie?
Yes.
Chair votes aye. Thank you. We need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Seconded.
Good night, everybody.
Sayonara.